After a relatively uneventful drive down south from Sereni, we arrived in Mapani for 5 nights. It turned out to be a pretty tumultuous stay.
Welcome to Kruger Park.
We plan a massive 7-week north to south Kruger Park trip. I really hope you enjoy following our journey as much as we enjoyed making it. Morning guys, so I had a very early start. I had a deadline to deliver this morning that I should have sent last night, but as per usual I didn't. So I've been up since 3 a.m. Got the deadline out. I think the client's going to love it's actually a video that I'm sending them, and I figured since I'm up I may as well make the early morning shift. We're at Mopani. Our first night at Mopani was last night. Went for a quick drive, nothing special. Oh, the gate's actually busy opening. Went for a quick drive last night as we got in, but didn't see much. But I've heard that there's a pack of wild dog that live just north of here. And wild dog are my absolute favorite. So that is going to be my morning mission. So everything's been backed up. If we don't find the wild dogs this morning, I will go look for them again tomorrow or this afternoon, and then tomorrow as well, and then the day after that. Because anyone that knows me knows that as much as I love a lot of different creatures, wild dogs just take the cake for me. Nothing compares. So yeah, hold thumbs. Hopefully we find them. I know there is a pack in the area, so the odds are more in my favor than usual, but wild dogs are notoriously hard to track down because they cover so much ground. But yeah, pre-dawn in the park. This is exactly where I want to be. Got a flask full of coffee. I have a Pro Nutri bar and a couple of apples. Sorted for the day. Bee sleeping in this morning. It's actually the first morning drive she's missed this trip, which is a big shout out to her. And as you can see, I'll cut to the GoPro footage. The sun's not quite even up yet. So really excited. I love being in Kruger. It's just the best thing in the world. I don't know why we don't do it more often, even though we do it a lot. Anyway, I'll check in a bit later, hopefully with some amazing wild dog photos on the camera, but if not, I'm just going to enjoy the wonderful morning in the park. Blessed to be here, absolutely love it. Okay, so just an update. It's been a beautiful drive. Never regret being out in the bush in the morning. There's a funny thing with the bush. Sometimes when you're really looking for a specific species, you're least likely to find it. But I've driven up and down the road twice now where the wild dog pack is meant to be. It was seen 2 days ago by another overlander, Edward Bath, and so I've tried to drive up and down. I can't seem to find it. Apparently they are denning in the area, so they should be close. I'm not going to give up on the wild dogs yet, so I will come back past you a little bit later, and if that doesn't work, I'll come back past you this evening, and if that doesn't work, I'll come back past you tomorrow morning, because wild dogs are special. Okay, so I may have found a bit of an explanation for why the dogs aren't around. There's a young male lion basking in the sun over here. They're notorious wild dog killers, so if the pack got scent of him, they would move out of the area. The lion killed a lot of wild dogs just because they're competition. But we'll sit with this boy for a little bit and see what he gets up to. It looks like he's just busy warming up in the sun at the moment. a relatively quiet drive, but that's just the way it goes sometimes. You know, we saw 4 leopard in 2 days at our last spots. you can't always get your way in the bush. I think I'm gonna have steak and eggs for breakfast. Feel like spoiling myself with a bit of a grill, and then we'll head out again in the afternoon. And hopefully in the afternoon I'll have Bianca, who's my lucky charm, and another set of eyes, which also really helps. So yesterday was a bad day. The morning drive was a little bit quiet, but not too bad. So I was going to spend the day editing. I haven't really been able to dedicate myself to the personal projects like this that I actually really want to do. So I've had a lot to catch up. There's a lot that's been sitting on my drive that hasn't been published yet. And while I was loading the project on Premiere Pro, there was a power surge, and it took out my RAID hard drive array, which is 16 terabytes, and it can normally handle any one of the 4 drives in it failing, but all 4 drives had fail errors. So I spent the rest of the afternoon trying to sort that out, and I've been unable to. I don't want to fiddle with it too much because I really cannot afford to lose the data if I haven't already lost it. So yeah, yesterday was a real downer. I need to make some decisions today, so we're probably going to have to cut the Kruger trip a little bit short so that we can go back to Johannesburg and try and get the data recovered off my hard drive. Maybe it was my mistake. I'm sure lots of people are going to tell me that I shouldn't travel with the RAID array, but I've been so careful with it, and I'm traveling with it in its own hard case, and I treat it like a newborn child. But yeah, just unluckily in camp yesterday got a power surge, and it seems to have wrecked the drives. So going on a morning drive today, trying not to think about it. We've got one more night in Mapani, then we're meant to be heading down to Letaba. I think we may head back to Johannesburg. I really don't want to. You know, the incredible leopard sightings we had on there, the rhino dehorning we did is on there. There's a lot on there. Luckily, if there is a bit of silver lining, it is that I delivered all of the paid work actually yesterday morning. That was the final deadline. So I'm okay in that sense. This isn't it isn't paid work, but it also kind of makes it worse because it's all the passion projects, all the stuff that I've been working on, and I've been putting a lot of work into it. Yeah, it's been a bit of a crappy day. And you can see I didn't get much sleep last night. Being in the presence of these incredible giants soothed my troubled mind. This is the end of the dry season. The first summer rains haven't come, and the veld is parched and bone dry. Our troubles seem rather insignificant momentarily. The pale blues and yellows of the last days of winter are too beautiful for words. I spent the next 3 days wired to my computer. A huge thanks to everyone that helped me. Long story short, I managed to recover the data and learnt a huge amount that we will put in future videos. Relief is an understatement, and we now needed to make up for lost time. We took a long, slow drive down south to Letaba and stopped to appreciate the little things along the way. Join us next week when we wrap up the first leg of the trip with some incredible sightings, and please hit the subscribe button if you haven't already.